if our COGS is off, our margins are going to be off, our financials are going to be off. It's just going to make things a lot more difficult to analyze and make decisions. Welcome on today's episode of Back to Basics so we can make more profit. We're talking about cost of goods sold, or as us accountants like to call it, COGS. COGS is a favorite acronym of us accounting and finance geeks, and it should become a favorite of yours as well. True story. Got a call from a brewery a couple months ago, and they were pretty certain that everything they bought for the manufacturing process was cost of goods sold. Do you remember a few weeks back when we did our video on inventory and the effects that inventory has on cash and what a lot of inventory on the shelf means? Well, I'm here to tell you that when you purchase something for the manufacturing process, that's actually inventory. It's not cost of goods. It's only when we sell that product, we actually can record it as a cost of goods sold. And why is this important? Why is it important that we get this concept down? It's important because if our COGS is off, our margins are going to be off, our financials are going to be off. It's just going to make things a lot more difficult to analyze and make decisions. Let's head over to this graph so I can explain this a little better.
Take a look at this graph. As mentioned a second ago, COGS is what we actually sell. So if we simply pay attention to the green and gray line, for the purposes of this beautiful recording, green represents revenue or sales. We talked about those last week. Gray represents COGS. The more that we sell or the less that we sell, we should have a corresponding COGS line if the financials are set up properly. And you'll notice here that the gray line does move with the green line. So I'm actually impressed with this set of financials. Next thing we want to look at is our chart of accounts. You've seen this before multiple times during this series, and I'm revisiting it to illustrate that your cost of goods sold section doesn't need to represent the Harry Potter series of books. It doesn't need to be that long, because once again, we're just trying to capture what we sold. So in some cases, we look primarily at what our brewery manufacturing software requires as a cost of goods sold section. So if you happen to be using Ecos, they're going to give you a mandated set of COGS to capture all the beers that are going through Ecos. In the chart of accounts we're looking at here, you know, we have cost of goods sold wholesale package, cost of goods sold wholesale keg. We have merchandise. We sell merch each week, so that makes a lot of sense. Brewery supply we include as a COGS simply for the fact that items such as chemicals, yeast, and gas don't actually touch a beer. They do touch a beer, but they're too hard to allocate per batch to build in the bill of materials, so we have to expense those at the time. Ingredients, sometimes we sell ingredients. That's why that's included on this list here. Kitchen food, kitchen supplies, that makes complete sense. Those are items that we're selling, so we need to record. Packaging costs, once again, sometimes we sell packaging costs to our neighbors. And then finally, tasting room beverage and tasting room supplies. This one is a little funny because from time and time again, I will get questions saying, hey, Chris, we're going to sell our beer to the tap room. SBS doesn't really recommend that. As a matter of fact, we hate it. We believe that the beer should be transferred from the back of the house to the front of the house at cost. And we're going to pick up that revenue up in the green section when we sell those pints and flights and growlers and tasters and whatever. So your tasting room beverage or your tap room transfer should be the cost of that keg that you transferred over in your brewery management software. The last two are inventory adjustment and inventory shrinkage. Inventory adjustment's the big one here. So on a monthly basis, we're looking at inventory. We're comparing it to your brewery management software and we're making adjustments. If those adjustments happen to be large, you're going to get a call and you're going to get asked, why did we forget to enter this bill? Or why did you skip the brewery management software? Or whatever the solution may be to correct that large inventory adjustment. For us, it's not about just making the adjustment and moving on. It's understanding where did either the brewery management software or the accounting software fall off. There you have it. Cost of goods sold. It's actually the cost of what we sold that month. Hope you enjoyed today. Talk to you next week.